You cannot discuss the Second World War without discussing the Holocaust, one of humanity's darkest hours. The calculated and organised mass genocide of those deemed to be undesirables by Nazi Germany is an act so evil it is almost incomprehensible. While the Holocaust was a showcase for the evils of humanity, those who stood against the Holocaust were hailed as heroes. One of the most famous people who strived to save those condemned to death was Oskar Schindler, an industrialist and Nazi Party member who, at great personal risk, hired Jews that would otherwise have been sent to concentration camps in his enamelware factories. It is estimated that Schindler saved approximately 1,200 Jews, bankrupting himself in the process. Schindler was named Righteous Among Nations, an award bestowed by the State of Israel upon non-Jews who took an active part in rescuing Jews during the Holocaust. Schindler was buried in the Catholic cemetery on Mount Zion in Jerusalem, the only Nazi Party member afforded this honour. We are not here to talk about Oskar Schindler today, however. We are here to talk about an Irish priest who, like Schindler, put himself at great personal risk in order to save those bound for the death camps. This is the story of Hugh O'Flaherty. Hugh O'Flaherty was born in Lisrobin, County Cork on the 28th of February 1898, the eldest in a family of 3 sons and 1 daughter. His father was an RIC constable in Tralee, County Kerry, and his mother hailed from Lisrobin. Hugh was raised in Killarney, County Kerry, where his parents went into business. He received primary education at the Presentation Brothers Monastery and secondary education at St Brendan's College. He held a junior teacher's post at the monastery for 3 years from the age of 15. He received a King's Scholarship to attend the De La Salle Teachers Training College in Waterford, but was ill for his final exams and failed to qualify. In August 1918, he was admitted to Mungret College, Limerick, to study for the African missions. He was 2 years over the age limit, but was sponsored by the Bishop of Cape Town, Cornelius O'Reilly, with the view of taking up a post in the Cape Town diocese on his ordination. An accomplished athlete, O'Flaherty was noted for his skill in boxing and golf. He was posted to Rome to pursue theological studies and was awarded a bachelorship after a year. Hugh was ordained as a priest on the 20th of September 1925. He never did join the Cape Town diocese, however, and instead was made vice-rector of the Propaganda College. During his first years in the post, he worked on a triple doctorate which was awarded to him in 1928. He was assigned to the Vatican Diplomatic Service in 1934 and was a Monsignor by this time. He held appointments in Egypt, Haiti, and Santo Domingo and Czechoslovakia. While in the Caribbean, he was decorated by the Haitian government for his work on famine relief, and Santo Domingo decorated him for arbitration on their border dispute. He was recalled to Rome in 1938 and appointed Scriptore in the Sacred Congregation of the Holy Office. During the Second World War, Hugh served as secretary to the Papal Nuncio to Allied POW camps in northern Italy. O'Flaherty began to assist Jews, dissidents, deserting Italian soldiers, and those fleeing from Mussolini's fascist government. O'Flaherty did not seek approval from his superiors, but instead chose immediate action in order to help those in need. With the removal of Mussolini from power in 1943, thousands of Allied POWs were released from Italian captivity. However, the German occupation of Italy meant that those released were in danger of recapture. Many of the newly released POWs flooded to Rome, remembering O'Flaherty from his visits to the POW camps. Others journeyed to Rome to seek the help from the Irish Embassy in the Holy See, which was the only English-speaking embassy to remain open in Rome. O'Flaherty enlisted the help of like-minded people to set up a network of safe houses to hide those seeking refuge from the Germans. He recruited the help of 2 priests from New Zealand, 2 agents working for the Free French, communists, and others. Throughout the 9-month occupation of Rome by the German forces, some 4,000 refugees were moved through O'Flaherty's network of safe houses. The safe houses included some 60 locations made up of churches, monasteries, convents, seminaries, and homes of sympathisers. The refugees were disguised as monks, nuns, bus drivers, and other labourers. They were given food, clothes, money, forged identity papers, and the chance of escape. O'Flaherty came to the attention of the occupying German forces. Obersturmführer Herbert Kepler, head of the Gestapo in Rome, learned of O'Flaherty's actions. Kepler ordered his men to paint a line across St. Peter's Square, signifying the divide between Rome and the Vatican City. Kepler ordered that O'Flaherty be immediately captured should he set foot outside the microstate. Petro Koch, leader of the Banda Koch, a task force charged with hunting down partisans and rounding up deportees to Germany, stated that it would be his intention to torture O'Flaherty before executing him should the priest fall into his hands. O'Flaherty and his followers continued unperturbed, however, and every evening O'Flaherty stood on the steps of St. Peter's Basilica in plain view of armed German soldiers and welcomed any refugees that made it to the Vatican. On occasion, O'Flaherty even hid refugees right under the Gestapo's noses, hiding them in a building right beside the Gestapo HQ in Rome. In a turn which no doubt enraged the Germans, Jewish religious services were conducted in the Basilica di San Clement. O'Flaherty was under increased German surveillance and his cards were very much marked. O'Flaherty's network foiled a kidnapping attempt by 2 Gestapo agents. 4 Swiss guards intercepted the German agents when they were making a move on O'Flaherty. The Germans received a beating and retreated back outside the Vatican, their tails between their legs. After the liberation of Rome in 1944, O'Flaherty assisted the families of Italian POWs seeking news of their relatives. O'Flaherty also helped German and Italian fascists who were fearful of reparations. At the time of the liberation of Rome, O'Flaherty's organisation was caring for 3,925 escapees and men who had succeeded in evading arrest. Of these, 1,695 were British, 896 South Africans, 429 Russians, 425 Greeks, and 185 Americans. The remainder were from 20 different countries. This does not include Jews and other men and women who were in O'Flaherty's personal care. Of the 9,700 Jews in Rome, 1,007 had been shipped to Auschwitz. The rest were hidden, over 5,000 of them by the church. The remaining 3,700 were hidden in private homes. After the war, O'Flaherty was given a number of awards, including being made a Commander of the Order of the British Empire, CBE, and the US Medal of Freedom with Silver Palm. He was also honoured by Canada and Australia. He received a lifetime pension from Italy, which he refused to claim, and was the first Irishman to be named Notary of the Holy Office. One notable omission is that he was not honoured as righteous among nations by the State of Israel. O'Flaherty regularly visited his wartime nemesis, Herbert Kepler, in prison. Kepler was found guilty of war crimes and given a life sentence. O'Flaherty would be a regular visitor of his for years to come. Kepler converted to Catholicism in 1959, with O'Flaherty baptizing him into the Catholic Church. In 1960, O'Flaherty suffered a stroke. He moved home to Ireland to live with his sister. He died in her home in 1963, aged 65. O'Flaherty left a lasting legacy, and there is a monument to him in his hometown of Killarney. In 1983, a film based on O'Flaherty's wartime exploit was released, with famed actor Gregory Peck playing the part of O'Flaherty. It is believed that in total, Hugh O'Flaherty and his network saved approximately 6,500 lives. As of the making of this video, Monsignor Hugh O'Flaherty has not yet been made righteous among nations, but there are groups still lobbying on his behalf.